Hey guys, and welcome to our review video here before Thanksgiving. I did decide I'm just going to be doing just the review video. I just didn't have enough time to come up with a whole new idea for a brand new lesson. Hopefully next time I will. I think a review is a better idea anyways on these days, just to practice, go back. We haven't been forced into it for a while. Anyways, I hope things are going well for you. Hope you're going to have a safe Thanksgiving coming up. Let's get this review done. I want to remind people that while I will most likely be doing most of this without a calculator, you are allowed to use a calculator as much or as little as you feel like. So it's totally up to you. Use that Google Calculator, use your phone as needed. Make sure you're showing your work. Um, Math review is most effective if you try the problem on your own until you get stuck, and then watch me do it afterwards. There is an answer key at the very, very end if you'd like to check your work first. And honestly, if you do the problem and then check your work, you don't even need to watch me do it. You can just skip right to the next one. But if you want to just do it with me the entire way through, that's fine as well. If you're doing this on a separate sheet of paper, you should probably be copying the question first before you start, although I will not be requiring that. Don't copy the word problem at the end either, please. All right, here we go. Evaluate each expression. So starting off, this guy is just our basic PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Remember that there are invisible parentheses around the top here and bottom before we begin. So that's actually where we want to start here. So let's do it. We got 6 plus 1 minus 1 is going to be 6 on the top up there. 6 minus 4 is 2. It's getting multiplied by 3 over here. We still have some division and multiplication to do here. This is going to be 6 divided by 2 is 3. So again, all I've done so far in this question, I did 6 plus 1 minus 1 to get 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. Then I did 6 divided by 2 to get 3. 6 plus 4 minus 9. And at the very end, you want to add left to right. So we're going to go up here. 10 minus 9, you'll get 1. You did not need to show all that work. You're showing a lot less work. Totally up to you. You can decide there. Continuing on here, number 2. Simplify each expression by using distributive property and then adding like terms. So you just got to distribute correctly and add afterwards. So this guy's going here and then here. This guy's going here and then here. Negative 8 times negative 5 is 40. Negative 8 times 3 is negative 24n. 6 times 8, 48n. 6 times 6 is 36. Adding like terms, these guys have n's, these do not. So these two with n's add together. Negative 24 and 48 is positive 24n. 40 plus 36 is 76. I'm going to pause there and remind you guys, you should be trying questions on your own first. Not watching the video, not watching me do it, and then moving on from there. All right, number 3, solve each equation. Here we have multiplication. To undo multiplication, we do division. It looks like numbers 3 and 4 are actually almost identical in that way. So on both of these, all we're going to be doing is dividing both sides by that number in front. So in this case, you're dividing by negative 9. When you do that, these guys cancel, and you get x equals, in this case, it looks like 18 positive. One-step question. Same thing over here, and honestly, when you're comfortable with it, you actually don't need to show that division. That's why I put these right next to each other here to mention. On number 4, I can just write n equals and do 96 divided by negative 16. Okay, yes, that's in fact negative 6, and you actually don't need to show work on questions like that. If you're comfortable doing that, that is. Number 5. So number 5 is a multi-step equation. So when you're doing multi-step equations, we have to do reverse PEMDAS. So we have multiplication and addition. We're going to start at the addition. Subtract 2 on both sides. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 16. Then divide both sides by 4. Easy peasy. Continuing on. Oh, actually, I'm going to pause really quick. Just pause. All right, here we go. All right, so 8r minus 4r here. We're going to do everything on both sides of the equation separately first, and then we're going to move around as appropriate. So 8r minus 4r is 4r equals negative 6 minus r plus 4r. The like terms add together to get negative 6 plus 3r. And now this is one of those questions where I recommend moving things around left and right. So in this case, I'm taking this positive 3r. I'm going to move it to the left-hand side. When that happens, it becomes a negative on the other side of the equation. 4 minus 3 is 1, and we're done. R equals negative 6. Not too bad. I'm going to move my mic. Hopefully it's a little easier to hear me now. Hopefully I didn't just get randomly louder on you, but that will happen sometimes. Continuing on. Number 7. So, on number 7 here, what we're going to do, distribute first, then add like terms, and then solve. So, we're distributing this negative to both of these guys. So, it's going to be a negative 1 minus 7x. The 4 is going to the x, so plus 4x. The 4 is going to the 2, plus 8. Now we're going to add like terms. So we have a negative 7 and a positive 4 is going to add to negative 3. There's the x. Negative 1 and 8 add together to be 7. Now I need to get x alone, so using my Pemdas or reverse Pemdas idea, subtract 7 on both sides. Totally running out of room, but here we go. That's a negative 18. Sorry for the bad handwriting. Negative 18 equals negative 3x. Going up here with it. Really did not give myself enough room at all in this question. Negative 18 equals negative 3x. Divide both sides by negative 3. We're done. 6 equals, like we had the answer of 6 or negative 6 quite a few times here. All right, number 8, same exact idea. I'm going to write a little bit smaller this time. Hopefully it's still readable. All right, so negative 2 times 4 is negative 8x. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. Negative 2x, that negative 8 distribute as well. Negative 8x, negative 8 to the 4 is positive 32. Add like terms on the right-hand side. Negative 2 minus 8 is negative 10x plus that 32. Now we have to do that whole switcheroo idea. So all the x's are going to move to the left, all the numbers are moving to the right. So that negative 10 is going to become a positive 10 on the right-hand side. And that positive 10 is going to become a negative 10 on the right-hand side. Negative 8 and positive 10 is 2x. 32 minus 10 is 16. Running out of room, copying it up here. 2x equals 16, dividing both sides by 2, and we're done. X is equal to 8. Numbers 9 and 10 are very, very similar, except we have to follow our absolute value rules that we learned as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by subtracting 10 on both sides here. Please be careful. Don't add by mistake. Don't do 10 plus 7 first. That 7 is being multiplied, so we can't do that first. So subtracting 10 on both sides, we'll get 7. 5r equals 105. Now we need to divide everything by 7. 7's cancel, and we're going to write here, we got absolute value of 5r is equal to 105 divided by 7. What's that, 15? Okay. And then now we have absolute value of 5r equals 15. We split this into two separate equations. 5r equals 15 and 5r equals negative 15. Both these questions will solve by dividing by 5. So we'll get r is positive 3 or negative 3. Same concept on number 10 here. Almost exactly the same thing, except we're going to have more steps at the very end. So we're going to start by subtracting 6 on both sides of the equation. You got 5, 2x plus 7 equals 5. Both sides divided by 5. I'm going to remind people, if you think I'm moving too fast, you are allowed to pause the video, wait, chill a minute, resume afterwards. It's not live like a regular class. You're going to miss the next thing that's coming up. Take your time, take a break, pause in the middle of it if you have to, go get a drink of water, that kind of thing. Do a stretch break. Totally cool with me. Don't need to just do math the whole way through. Unless you want to power through it and just get it over with and be done with math for a whole week. That could be another option. All right, we're splitting into 2 now. 2x plus 7 equals 1, and 2x plus 7 equals negative 1. We need to subtract 7 on both sides. I'm running out of room, so I'm going to rewrite them up here now. So I'm just going to switch colors so it's more obvious which one's which. So now we have 2x equals negative 6 for one of the questions, and 2x equals negative 8 for the other question. Divide both sides by 2, we'll get x equals negative 3. And divide both sides by 2 here, we get x equals negative 4. Not too shabby. Now we have some graphing questions. Let's do these. Solve each inequality and graph its solution. So number 11 is a one-step problem in terms of actually solving for k. Should be nice and simple. Just need to add 17 to both sides of the equation. And you got k is greater than negative 15. And now we have to create the graph. So I want to remind people the rules for my graphs here, at least for my class. We want to put the key number down. So in this case, it's negative 15. And we want a number on both sides to prove we know how a number line works. So negative 14 is actually on the right because negative 14 is bigger than negative 15. And that's a harder concept sometimes. It's more positive, closer to 0. 0 would be over here. Negative 16 here. Open circle above the negative 15 because there's no equal to. And then because k is on the left, we can just make it nice and easy. Points the same direction as the arrow. Greater than alligators eating it means bigger, going to the right. Number 12, same concept as the questions like 9 and 10 where we have to split into 2, except this time we have the whole graph to deal with as well. So we're going to start by dividing both sides by 7. And it'll be 5 plus v is greater than or equal to 1, absolute valued. Splitting in the two equations here, we got 5 plus v greater than or equal to 1, 5 plus v less than or equal to negative 1. So flip the direction of the sign, don't forget the negative. Also, the alligator is eating absolute value, that means or. Subtract 5 on both sides here. We're going to get v greater than or equal to negative 4. Subtract 5 on both sides here. We'll get v is less than or equal to negative 6. The word or is still in between. Create our number line. Our important points are down, negative 6 here, negative 4 here, negative 5 is in between the two. Filled in circles because there is that little equal to sign. The word or is pointing apart for these absolute values, so it's greater than negative 4 or less than negative 6. Kaboom, kaboom. Number 13. Solve each compound inequality and graph its solution. So we're going to go ahead and start. This is a weird one where you're allowed to kind of solve, quote unquote, both sides, but it's 3 sections. So we're just going to start by adding 5, trying to get x alone in the middle. But we add 5 there. That means we also add 5 here and here as well. So negative 61 and 5 is negative 56 less than 8x less than negative 40. Same concept, except this time we're dividing instead of adding. So divide by 8, divide by 8, divide by 8. 8's cancel in the middle here. Negative 56 over 8 is negative 7, less than x, less than negative 5. Same idea as that number line before. We got negative 7 here, we got negative 5 here, negative 6 goes in between, open circles above, and this time it's smushed in between, so you connect the dots. And now we're on that last page. Almost done. No big deal. Our percent review. This is what we've been doing most recently, so hopefully this is what you're most comfortable with, because we've been doing it just so soon before. Solve each problem. 22 is 156% of what? So we always want to start with our percent times the of equals the is. So in this case, we have our percent equals 156, but don't forget to divide by 100. Move that decimal over twice to the right. 1.56. Our of equals our we don't know, and we got our is equals 22. So our percent times the of equals the is. Divide both sides by 1.56. X equals, and if you use a calculator to 3 decimals as I ask in my class, I'm just doing it over here in this calculator I have. You get 14.103. If you stopped at 14.1, I'd probably be okay, but I do ask for 3 decimal places. That's it. 22 is 156% of 14.103. So now it says find each percent change, say if it's increase or decrease. So our percent is our x. We have our of is the from, and the is the 20. We have the percent times the of equals the is. So divide both sides by 27. And therefore x equals, and we use our calculator, we end up with x equaling 20 divided by 27. We get 0.741 if we go to 3 decimal places. However, don't stop there. You're not done. It's asking to find the percent change. So this percent isn't even in percent form. We first move the decimal over to the right twice, multiplying by 100. And that's going to put us in percent form. So there's number form, percent form, multiply by 100 to get there, divide by 100 to get back. And it wants percent change. Percent change every single time. This means subtract 100 from our final answer. So we're going to do 74.1 and subtracting 100. And I could have done that in my head. Why did I do this? It's negative 25.9. I know that. Okay. So negative 25.9, and to write our final answer, state if an increase or a decrease. This is a 25.9% decrease because it is a negative number, and therefore we are decreasing. One last question. There's a shoe sale where everything is 30% off. Last time you were at the store, you complained to the manager, got an additional 15% off coupon. If the sales tax for you buying the shoes is 8.7%, what is the final price you pay on a $175 pair of shoes? If you guys noticed, it's exactly the same problem that I wrote last time where I barely changed the numbers. Welcome to math teachers being lazy. Nothing new there. All right, shoe sale where everything is 30% off. We have a couple different equations here. So 30% off. That means you have a 30% decrease. 30% decrease, we're going to do 100 minus that 30 to get 70. We need that in decimal form, though. Divide by 100 to get 0.70. You could have written just 0.7. Same idea with the next one, the next percent. So we have like a percent 1, a percent 2. We got 100 minus 15 because we got that extra percent off. That's 85%. And to get to actual that decimal form, because these are in percent, right? Because they're in percent, you got to move it to number form to actually multiply. 0.85, move the decimal over twice, divide by 100. Our third percentage, same exact idea, except it's tax, so it's an increase this time. 100 plus 8.7, 108.7%, which is 1.087. And we got to combine all three of these together by multiplying. And if we multiply 0.7 times 0.85 times 1.087, oh my gosh, you end up with 0.6467. You can write more decimals. I'm going to write it all the way out. 0.647765. And now it is a $175 pair of shoes. So $175 pair of shoes. That is we have our percent right here. Times the of, which is 175, equals the is. And that's the whole problem. And it looks like it is $113.18. All right, well, hopefully you guys did well in this review. If you treated it like a test, you could do that too. You can kind of grade yourself to see how well you're actually learning all the material. And if you are learning this stuff, I want to remind you, how well you're really doing, how, tough it is learning from home and, or just doing everything online. Not having a teacher, actually in front of you and just doing it through the computer is not the easiest. So, during this Thanksgiving time, you're always supposed to be thankful towards others about what they've done and that kind of thing. But just be thankful to even yourself that you've made it through this far. Vaccines coming right around the corner. A lot of predictions. Our life is back to normal by May or June. So we just got to stick it out a little bit longer. And yeah. Thanks for being a great class this year. You guys have made it easier for me to be doing this pandemic as well. So have a good one. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and I will see you in 7 days. Peace.